through these cards. As I go through, I'm going to ask you to call stop anytime you wish. And as I go through, and I go through the cards, and eventually a spectator calls stop at one of the cards. And I say, isn't that interesting? Because you could have stopped me at any of these cards. And you could, of course, stop me at any of those cards. But you stopped me at the one card that says, stop me here. Even stranger is this is the only card with a red back, whereas all the other cards in the deck have blue backs, every single one. Here's something with two playing cards. First card we're going to use is the King of Diamonds, which is actually, this is a brand new deck. You'll see the edges of the card of the King are completely undamaged. There's no wrinkles and no tears, no nicks. The King is in perfect condition. Second card we're going to use is going to be, in this case, two. Second card is 2. That makes sense, a 2. Now the 2 is also in perfect condition, front and back, but what I'm going to do with the 2 a little different is I'm going to put a tear in the 2. Watch. That's a real tear, torn in the 2. And yet, even though that's a real tear, I'm going to drag the tear right off the 2. Right off the 2. Dragged it right off the 2. Right on to the King. Watch, you'll see I drew a black X to the top card because I knew it wasn't going to be the 6 of hearts. Not going to be the 6. Not going to be the 2. Not going to be the 6 of diamonds. In fact, I knew it wasn't going to be any of these cards. None of them. They all have large black X's through the face, all except for one card. Only one. The only one that's turned over, and the only one without a large black X through its face. There's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9, there's 10, or 8, or 7, or even 5. But for some reason, out of all of these possible hours, you thought of the only one. I can try to cover the quarters. But since there are 4 quarters in 2 of my hands, no matter how quickly I move, there's no way I'm going to be able to cover all the quarters. So watch. Watch a little demonstration here. If I take the quarter, I'm going to try to slip it up through the hole. See? Actually came up through the hole. That's the first one. I say, look, we'll do it again. I'm going to try to send a second coin up through. You heard it arrive. The hole. That's the second one arrived. Now, the last one, let's try something a little different this time. Rather than with the hole on the handkerchief, I asked the spectator to put their name on the card. Unfortunately, I work for some weird people, so that's the person's name right there on the 4 spades. And do keep in mind, again, it is a freely selected playing card. I'm going to take the card and slip it about halfway in the pack, approximately. Just about there. I'm going to even reassure the always suspicious spectators by leaving the card sticking out of the deck, protruding out, so they can keep an eye on it up until the last second. To even further isolate the world, I'm going to take that half deck and slip it inside the card case. They'll watch it to the last second as it gets pushed inside. Close up the case. I'd now ask the spectator if they'd be so kind as to hold out their hand. They do so, and they hold onto the card case firmly. Your signed card. You took any card, we isolate, you signed it, we slipped it inside the card case. I'm going to use a random card from this, in this case the 5 of hearts. Do not take your eyes off the 5. Just a flick. Just like that. Now there is their signed card. And of course, if the spectator opens the card case and spreads through these cards, they'll find only one card reversed in the middle, and that card is the 5 of hearts. They spread out theirs, I spread out mine. Even though they've shuffled theirs, I reach over and I touch. I touch one. It's one I'm drawn to. Let's say that one there. And they touch one they're drawn to. Let's say that one there. The one they touch, I openly move to the top of their packet. The one I touch, they openly move to the top of their packet. So the one they touched is on top here. The one I touch is on top there. I turn over the one they touched. In this case, it's a Jack of Diamonds. They turn over the one I touch. And in this case, it's a Jack of Hearts. Remember the card. Keep it in mind. I'm going to take the card, bury it in the center of the pack, in the very center of the deck. Take the cards and put them inside the card case. Like that. And that's about as fair as you can get. When it's through the cards, you called stop, you took a peek at the card, I put the cards inside the card case. I have the spectator hold the deck between their two hands, and I say, you might have heard of psychic surgery, where they're able to actually do surgery on you just with the power of the mind and people never feel. This is kind of a psychic heating, because even though you've got the deck between your two hands, I'm going to try to selectively warm one card in particular in the deck, and the heat's going to travel through your hands, through the card case, through all the other cards, and just focus in on one of the cards. Then while they're holding the deck, I light the lighter and wave it underneath their hand and on top. And I said, do you feel it? Is it too hot? And they, of course, say it's not. And no, it's not. I said that. See, because if I wasn't protecting you psychologically right now, you'd be in agony, because the heat is very intense. You may not believe me, but for the first time, name your card. They name their card. Do you remember what the card was? I don't even remember.
It was the 4 diamonds.
Oh, the 4 diamonds. Great. Okay. I go watch. They can see ashes. Something has burnt. And I show them in the middle of the pack, a card is burnt, literally. They can go through the whole deck. They'll find no duplicates. And of course, the burnt card is the 4 of diamonds. Of course, they're pretty sad about their life, so they don't know what to put on there but a sad face. I say to them, well, you know, sadness is part of life. So there's no question about that. I also will often emphasize to them, I'll say, well, you know, you may want to go see a professional about that. It's not a bad idea. You may want to go see a professional, I don't know. I say, look, let's try something. I'm going to take the rubber band and band the pack like that. I'm going to take your card and I'm going to actually tear it slowly, neatly, in half and in quarters. Then take the pieces and slip them underneath the rubber band. Keep an eye on those pieces, because you're going to see something really weird happen to those pieces in full view. 1, 2, 3. Just like that. The pieces have come back together in full view.